Well, hey everybody, my name's Carl Wockner. Welcome to my channel, and I'm going to go through today my entire new rig rundown.
Pew, 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 pew.
Alright, cool. So some of you have already noticed some of my posts or some of my shows that I've changed my entire setup. Now, apart from the camera and the audio recorder, this is essentially my entire rig that I set up live. I never wanted a big elaborate rig, but here it is. I need every little bit of it, and I'm actually kind of getting really creatively comfortable with the whole thing. So I'm going to go through piece by piece, starting with the microphones. You'll see right here in front of me, the main vocal microphone I use still is the KSM8, the Shure KSM8. It's a dual capsule dynamic microphone, sounds incredible. I love it for my main vocals. Complemented over here, this is the standard Shure SM58. I use this microphone specifically to plug into my Loopstation when I'm doing my beatboxing and backing vocals and all that sort of stuff. The reason I choose this is for the different tonal qualities between the KSM8 and the SM58. This is a lot tighter cardioid pattern, and it actually has a nicer proximity effect. I can control the low end of my vocal when I get closer or further away. Okay, so something that shouldn't come to a shock to anybody is the fact that I use Maton guitars. Now this one is an EMD6. It's a mini Maton. I've got full-size Matons. I've got a bunch of different guitars and a bunch of different Maton guitars. But the thing about Maton guitars is their pickup system. Now these are an Australian brand. They sell them all over the world. But hands down, my favorite guitar with my favorite pickup. So even though you see a lot of pedals in front of me, none of them are there specifically to make my guitar sound good or to make my guitar sound better. They're all there to do a specific job relating to my loop or relating to a tone that I specifically need for that loop. They don't adjust the tone of my guitar. I hope that makes sense, because there's a lot of people out there that seem to be chasing a tone with a pedal, when in actual fact they should really be looking at the guitar that they choose. Now, I'm not saying a Maton guitar is perfect for everybody. It's perfect for me. That might not be perfect for you, but what you should really focus on is, instead of changing your tone by adding a pedal to do something specific, if you're just looking for a good quality acoustic guitar tone, you need to change your guitar. If that's the issue for you, then that's the problem. Okay, enough about the guitar. We're going to dive into the pedals right now. So first pedal in the chain down here is the Boss TU3. Now it's a chromatic tuner. Absolutely love it. Very important to have a tuner that mutes on stage. Super cool. Love it to bits. All right, followed very closely by the TC Spark. Now, even though these aren't in linear order, this is the patching order. So cable goes from there to over here. Now, this is just a volume boost pedal. I highly recommend them for anybody, especially if you do some acoustic solo stuff or fingerstyle guitar work. Very, very handy pedal. Followed closely by the Boss OC3. It's super octave. I love this pedal so much. Now, Boss have just released in 2020 an OC5, which is an updated version of this. The updated version has plus and minus 2 octave as well. It's got a couple of extra modifications. This is specifically what I use, though. If I was to go to the OC5, I'd be using the same features as what's on the OC3. Okay, now the last two pedals on this top part of the board is the Wampler Tumnus, which I'll talk about soon. That's part of my Overdrive chain. So this pedal up the top is just a mic mute switch. I turn it on and off depending on when I want to add vocal into my loop. The handy thing about having it off and disconnecting your microphone from the loop is it eliminates stage noise and volume, signal wash coming into the loop and making it sound horrible. Moving right along over here to the Line 6 HX effects. Now this pedal is kind of a multi for me. It's where I get a lot of my stereo effects from. So as you can see, I've got reverb down here. I use that on all the time, or most of the time. I've got various other pedals, chorus, tremolo, wah, drive. I've got synth, a synth setting up here as well. Essentially, my drive chain is what I want to talk about now, and that's going to be in another entire video. But really quickly to touch on it, this 1-foot switch engages 2 different parametric EQs, a reverb, and also effects loop that comes out, goes into the Wampler Tumnus and back. Now the Wampler Tumnus is set up, this is a clone copy, or a clone style pedal, meaning the gain structure of this pedal isn't just less gain, more gain. It's actually a blend dial between 0% gain and 100% gain. So it gives a little bit of an interesting characteristic. Sounds very cool on an acoustic guitar, especially in the way that I've set it up. Absolutely love that pedal. Fantastic. Moving on, This is a vocal effect, something that I'm trying out. This goes onto my main vocal microphone, so onto the KSM8. This is a Boss VE500. Now, all I use this for is to toggle on and off reverb when I'm on stage. If I want to talk between songs or just have a dry sound, I turn the reverb off. Over here, it says harmony, but I've actually set up for a vocoder style sound, which I absolutely love. And then this is just a delay. So if I'm hitting a really big part of the song and I want to throw a little bit more delay and crazy vocal effects, that's what I do. Oh yeah, so I've also got this iRig Blueboard down here. I should make note of it because it does almost nothing. It does 0 to my tone. All it does is flip the pages of my iPad if I have a set list. So up until this point, all of my sounds, all of my tones have come from this microphone and this guitar, and that includes drums, kick, snare, kind of thing. Something that I'm trialing at the moment, and just to see if I like it, just to get a little more creative, is to have this Maschine controller and Maschine software. So all this does is I'm able to load up some hits that I want. Mario Brothers. And so this just gives me a little bit more of a creative option when I'm looping on stage, especially if I'm jamming out. If I'm doing something specific, I might usually use the guitar, but if I want to change the tones, change the kicks and the snares, I can. I can get some really cool urban beats and lo-fi beats and stuff. And so that's something I'm just experimenting with, but that's the last thing that gets plugged into my Loopstation. Now we're going to dive straight into this Loopstation because I feel like this is what most people have been here for, to find out exactly what's going on with this. So let's dive in. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Headrush Looperboard. Now up until this point, I've used the Boss RC300, which has been an absolute staple for me for the last 8 to 10 years or so. The reason I've changed to the Headrush Looperboard is just for a couple of features, honestly. It's got 4 tracks instead of 3. The main features that I changed to the Headrush Looperboard is also the output quality. Audio quality is 24-bit WAV file, whereas the RC300 was an MP3 file quality, which you can barely notice unless you're recording in the studio or on a large stage. But to me, it was very important. And additional to that, I can have extra output routing. So currently, I'm just setting it up quite simply, and I've got a stereo guitar output and then a stereo loop out. But I have an extra 2 outputs, so I can run my guitar stereo out, and then I can run each track 1, 2, and 3, and 4 out their own separate outputs, which is extremely helpful for me. Now the Headrush Looperboard is pretty massive, I gotta say. It's heavier than the RC300, it's got a bigger footprint. And for that reason, you can actually see from this camera angle that I've had to mount some pedals up on top of the Looperboard. So if any of you are actually interested in how I built this pedal board or how you're gonna build a custom pedal board, I'm gonna link this video here. This is something that I've recently done. I've walked through the steps on exactly how I built this board and what I've done to it. Last but not least, in the pedal realm, I have a volume pedal down here attached to my Headrush Looperboard. This is attached to the output volume of my loops. So in the middle of a loop, I can fade out and I can fade in really quick to get a little more creative control. Absolutely love that feature. I loved that feature on the RC300. I set my RC300 up with that because it had a fixed built-in expression pedal. I went with the Mission Engineering expression pedal. These are very robust and very strong and solid and heavy. That's what I've got plugged in right now. So a couple of last things that you don't see on the floor down here are my Shure GLX-D16, which is my wireless guitar rig, and also my Shure wireless transmitter and receiver for my in-ear monitors. Now these right here are my Alclair Audio Spire custom mold in-ear monitors. If you haven't got in-ear monitors and you're a live looping artist or any live performer, you should check them out. They're an absolute game changer. I'd be lost without them. The ability to be able to reference your own tone, make sure you're sending the right stuff. Also to be able to wash out all the room ambience and unwanted noise. You can bring that back in with other microphones. I'd be totally lost without them. All right, that looks like about it. So I'm just gonna jam out for the rest of the time. I'm gonna play around with these pedals, get something going. But before I do, can you please like and subscribe to this channel? I'm an independent artist. I'd love you to check out my original work, but I'm just trying to get content like this out to you guys so I can show what I'm doing and hopefully build some inspiration and information for you all. So thanks for your support. Love you guys. I'll catch you around. Peace out. Here we go.
Pop.